This is the Mickey Miles and More podcast, your one stop for information on Disney races, Disney vacations, Disney theme parks, and more. Now, here are your hosts for the Mickey Miles and More podcast, Michelle Scribner-McLean, Chris Eliopoulos, and Mike Scopa.
Welcome back again, Milers. My name is Chris Eliopoulos. I am your host with the most. With me today is my good friend, Dr. Michelle Scribner-McLean. Welcome, Michelle. How are you doing?
Hello, Christopher. How are you today? How are things in New Jersey?
Disneyland shirt because I never leave the house without it on. So.
And I'm wearing my Peloton shirt too because I'm just riding bikes and running all the time.
I have to get back to exercise. My quarantine 15 keeps growing, so.
Quarantine 15. Yeah. That's cool.
You have any shout-outs?
I do. We have some more subscribers. Yay! So high five for Reservations, Total Esports, Keely Needle, and Paul Goodwin are some of our newest subscribers. So thank you so much for subscribing. Yeah. So I'm giving you a very clean hands virtual high five.
Yeah. Please peer out before you give me a high five. Next up is the Disney wizard himself, Mr. Michael Scopa. How you doing, Mike?
And another thing, let me start again.
You look like you're copping an attitude there.
Yeah.
And another thing, those locked coordinates, we're in.
Star Wars?
Oh no, dinosaur.
Right.
Oh. All right, Michelle got this one.
All right, gonna get more difficult next time.
And coming back with us again today is our good friend from MEI Mouse Fan Travel, Beci Mahnken. Becky!
Yay! Two shows in a row. You might not get rid of me now.
That's fine. You're always welcome here. Home.
And don't ever let me the whole dinosaur thing. They eat your head.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
They do.
So we're having Becky on because last episode was kind of negative and talking about all the bad stuff and why we're having so much trouble and coronavirus. So we thought we'd kind of talk a little bit about the future. And next year being Disney World's 50th anniversary, they've been planning for years. We saw when you were down there, the roads were getting redone and there's action in the parks. So Becky, next year, I want to book a trip. What do I got to do? Should I book now or should I wait?
Right.
Well, if you're trying to target to be there during the anniversary, you can't book it yet. You can only book up through September 26th, 2021 at this point. And I think they're doing that for a reason, clearly. I think they plan to have things a little bit more magical for the 50th. So I think they cut it right there so that somebody wouldn't go in for their 7-day vacation and book it now under these circumstances and the type of packages they have available now. When they're
Are you saying like a gold mask with a 50 on it?
Yeah. Sparkles and glitter. Well, hopefully, let's all just say, or do a little dance, whatever we need to do to hopefully be rid of this thing by September 27th. 2021, so we don't have to worry about glittery masks. Otherwise, we're going to be doing Burke masks every month on release. I'm sure they would be popular.
Masks with ears on them.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that that's very strategic on their part because I think by that point, things are going to be a lot different.
All right. Well. So basically, we can't do anything until the time comes. So.
No, not at this point. Just keep your eyes open because I'm sure when they're ready to start pulling the curtain back on what their plans are going to be, we'll know and we'll be able to give you a heads up when it's time to jump in and book.
Perfect.
We know, do we know that if this celebration will go from October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022?
Well, as we've all been around, we've seen them do the 18th month celebrations for quite some time. I don't have a definitive answer for you. However, knowing that this is the 50th and knowing how much money and time and effort and energy they're going to put into this celebration, I'm sure that they're going to want to milk it for all it's worth in as many dates as they could.
I'm sure I hope I'm. One of the things I keep thinking about is what they're going to do to the castle, because in the past we've seen, and for the 25th they did something very special with the castle. Of course, we all remember the cake castle. I'm wondering if there's going to be some type of a.
How could you forget?
Yeah. Well, except the back.
Eyeballs.
The back was the castle. The front was the cake. I am wondering if there's going to be some type of a gold thing going on with the castle for next year. And if that's the case, my guess is that next year at this time, we will have seen what they plan to do with the castle.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys feel, because obviously they've just kind of revealed some pictures of the new paint job. When somebody had mentioned that it was going to be pink, I mean, immediately the Pepto-Bismol castle came into my brain. That was my first visit. It was when the castle was pink and cake-like. So I returned the next year, and it was still pink.
What do you mean cake-like? I thought it was real cake.
Yeah, sure, Michelle. Yeah, it was not my favorite. How did you guys feel about it?
No,
I'm in the minority. I thought, I knew it wasn't for good, and I thought it was fun. I've never met anybody else who feels that way, but I thought it was fun.
I never want the castle to be touched. I think it should stay the way it is, always.
I think with the new technology, they don't need to do much to it anymore. They'll like
exactly, Chris. Exactly.
They can just figure things out and make it whatever they want at the time. But
yeah, with all of the mapping that they can do, and different times of the day into different things, it'd be nice not to have something permanent in the back. But then again, this is a really special celebration. Yeah. I can't wait. I can't wait to hear what they have in store. And I know that they've been excited about it and working on it, but to be a fly on the wall.
Right. Well, Michelle, go ahead. Ask about your cruises. Go ahead.
Are we just asking? Oh, well, are they going to do anything you think on the ships for the 50th?
That's a great.
Even though it's not. I mean, is it going to be company wide or just world?
Now I think it's probably going to be just world. I may be wrong. My gut says, I mean, every time they've celebrated Disneyland, they really haven't done anything at world and vice versa. So it just seems logical that they would keep it pretty much to world to let it have the spotlight during that time.
But for people who want to do like a land and sea thing, go to world and then continue your celebration and sea.
Everybody except for you, Chris. A lot of us love cruising, and yeah, while I know cruising has a really bad rap, and I know because every time one person sneezes on a cruise, you text me. So
I do. Every news article about a cruise ship goes right to Becky.
You know what we got to do? We got to get Chris and his wife Audra on one of those fireworks cruises down there. Just to give you a taste of what that's. Well, I guess that's real.
That's why
my new taste, but
dream. It should be a dream to get me on there. You're dreaming.
For the bars alone, I think you'd want to go. Just for the bars.
What kind of lush do you think I am?
Get to wear a pirate kerchief. You get to wear a patch.
The funny thing is, after all of this COVID craziness, I really believe a cruise is going to be a really safe place to be, because they can't afford to have a huge breakout of anything on board a ship now. And from the cleaning standards to making sure that everybody that comes on board is screened beforehand. I don't know who's gone into the grocery store over the past 2 hours. And what they've touched, let alone on a ship where I know I've walked up and down a staircase, and if I have my hand on the railing, there's usually someone right behind me wiping it down. And after this COVID thing, I have a feeling we're going to see a lot more of that. So I'm pretty safe and confident that once the cruise lines say we're ready for business, we're ready to sail, it's because they've gone through all the protocol. So Chris, you need to come along.
You know what? I'll wave at the dock.
We can hit him with a dart. Let's just dart him, and then
kidnapping always goes well. That's always a good idea.
Do you remember that show, The 18? B.A. Baracus. Every time they had to fly, they would knock him out. Do you remember that show? Mr. T played.
Remember the show? Don't remember.
God, it was the greatest show. 18? The 18? Nobody?
Oh yeah, when he had to fly.
Pity the fool.
Wasn't that when he had to fly? They knocked him out.
Anytime he had to fly, they would knock him out.
Had to fly. There we go.
That's what you're gonna have to do to me. You're gonna have to sedate me and knock me out and throw me on there without telling me. But
evil plan.
I'm up for it.
Michelle, I got this. We got this.
One of the things that we knew that was going to happen for the 50th was the replacement of Illuminations with Harmonious.
Mhm.
And actually, we were hoping that we would get to see Harmonious beginning this year. I think I think it was October 1st.
Right? Yeah.
And so my thought keeps going, geez, has this virus helped them prepare for it because the park has been empty every night, or has it hurt them? I'm assuming that it has helped them, but by the same token, and Becky, you're the expert in this area too, I have heard that the supply chain for fireworks has been impacted by this virus, and by supply chain, the shells that are used for the fireworks. And also, and Becky, here's a question I've been dying to ask you for about 4 months. Fireworks, I've been told, has a shelf life. Are you aware of anything along that line, that fireworks has shelf life?
When I did it, yes. The current technologies, I hesitate to say, but maybe when I did it, there absolutely was, because it does have a burn rate, and it can be impacted by just sitting there being stale. But a lot of the places, and I think Disney does this now, I don't know 100%, but I think a lot of it is packed locally. So, and if that is still the case, I know it was from a different theme park, then it's, you do it before, right beforehand. So it's not like it's taking a year to get from China to here. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what that will be all about, because I know there's a lot of work that was required along the shore. The infrastructure of the lagoon had to be really, really refurbished or revamped. So I'm thinking that this may have actually helped them prepare.
I was wondering about that too at the very beginning, thinking, well, the parks are closed, so wow, they've got a lot of opportunity to get Epcot in shape, because there was a lot of construction going on at that point. And then we started hearing that the construction crews had to go home because of the dangers, which nobody can blame them for that. But I'm hoping that they've been able to maybe make some progress in some of the projects that are going on, especially as we start to emerge from this, so that maybe we might see some stuff not too far in the future.
Do we know?
I wonder if anything will happen with races, if there'll be any special 50th anniversary race events.
Well, there's definitely a medal possibility. There isn't there?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
my
would
God.
sell out in 5 minutes if
The
that long.
first, yeah. Can you imagine the first Disney World Marathon in January after the 50th starts? That could be a hot ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah, they might be doing special events for that one, right? Like special medals, special theming. But
and then they do the Castaway Key Challenge too, so maybe that does tie into that 50th for the ship.
And I haven't heard anything, but I am wondering if Happily Ever After will be replaced by a special nighttime spectacular at the Magic Kingdom. I would love to see a nighttime parade return. I haven't heard anything on that, but I'm hoping that would happen as well. Again, a lot depends upon where we are with this this viral virus.
viral virus.
Is that what type of virus it is?
It's a viral virus.
So Becky, have people start look, I'm booked for August. When do certain attractions, they're not going to all just open up on October 1st, right? Like, again, pretend I know nothing, because I have been so out of the loop in terms of what's coming up. Are attractions opening up throughout the year, or are they all just waiting until October 1st?
Attractions meaning that the new ones that are coming out, or
and the Tron coaster and that kind of stuff is all.
There's a lot of things that are coming down the pike, both for World and for Land, and there was an established rollout, and they weren't all waiting till October to come out. From what I understand, we were surprised when Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway came so early in the year, because some of us had suspected that would be closer to summer. So it's a really good question. I haven't heard anything solid that, they've decided just to hold off and roll everything out at that point. That's going to be interesting to see how they end up putting things on the calendar.
I mean, that's the hard part for you guys as well, is that you've got to now factor in the changes of reservations, because we don't know if things are going to open up on certain times. Like I'd like to go see Tron. Maybe I would set my trip to go when that thing is opening up, because I really want to see it, or if I want to go see the Remy ride or whatever it may be. And we don't know which. I mean, that's going to be an extra burden on you guys trying to figure out when this stuff happens, right?
Well, we're with everybody else. We're sitting here guessing. So the moment that, we have a lot of conversations with clients, and we know kind of what their hot buttons are and what they're going after. So many families out there are driven by school schedules and holiday schedules. So no matter what, that's not when they're going to target what's going to be best for the family. However, for us uber Disney freaks that want to be there the moment something opens up, you start hearing the rumors, and then you do things like, well, I kind of heard that it's going to be July 2nd that they're going to do this, so maybe I should book the week prior and the week after to make sure that I've got something there, and then you move things around. So there's a lot of people that kind of play that shell game, and then we just keep moving dates if we need to, until the official word comes out. And I tell you, the moment that anything is released, which usually happens about 7 a.m. Eastern time, since I'm sitting here in Seattle, that's 4 a.m. my time. My text starts going off, and I need a room. Can you grab this for me? So that definitely does become a little bit of an action item around here.
Well, I love the trick you always give me, which is always to book further out on either end of your trip, and you can always bring it in the dates. So can you just start booking me from January 1st through December 31st, and we'll work back.
Sure. I got your credit card. Not a problem.
Well, it's only one night, right? You only have to put a deposit for one night. So
I think that they do have a limit of how many days you can have on one reservation. So sorry.
Yeah, Chris.
Spoiled again.
But again, right now it's all speculative of when things are going to open up. So what you need to do is tell me which attractions you're most interested in seeing, and the moment we hear it, then I know to book those for you.
It's funny because I had this issue, and I'm sure Mike and Michelle have it too now, and it's something you and I were just dealing with. So for a lot of us AP holders, we took our refund, and you were booking my August trip, and you were having some tech issues, and you had said, make sure that just see if you can book a park. But because I no longer have my AP, technically, I couldn't do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
So there's
they already took it off your My Disney account?
I tried to, and it said you don't have any park tickets, or you don't have a plan with your hotel and stuff. So we tried to play that little game. So what would your suggestion be for those people too, like about booking with, should you just quickly get your AP back, or?
Yeah, you need to have you have to have a valid ticket media of some sort in your My Disney Experience account to be able to make a park pass. Right. So right now, for example, if you were an AP holder and we booked your hotel, right? So if you had 5 nights hotel and your AP, you could book 5 individual park passes, right? If you're just an AP and you don't have on property or some of the off property Disney partner locations, you can only book 3. And that's for the entire year. So you can only book 3
days.
3 individual days. And then as you use those days, then you can book additional ones. So if you're really wanting to make sure that when you are ready to book your park pass days, you have to have a valid ticket media linked in your account.
So here's the suggestion. So, say everything goes back to normal. You don't have to worry about those picking out the park reservations. Please. I have an AP. I need to book. What's the book for Fast Pass? Is it 60 days out?
It's 60 days now. So dining, everything is hitting to 60 days after they reopen dining. So Fast Passes, we're thinking is going to be the same thing.
So the idea would be that obviously either renew your Fast Pass when it comes up, or get like we're saying like
renew your annual pass. You mean?
Yeah.
Annual pass. Sorry. We end at December 6th, but we're like, well, we're not going to be going until August. Why don't we just wait and eat that money, the renewal fee money, and but you'd have to book 60 days ahead of time just in order to book everything, right?
Right, exactly. And there's a couple of interesting things that we're still kind of up in the air, finding out if this is a glitch or if this is a reason. But some people have reported that if you have the voucher attached in your system, even though you haven't activated your AP, that you might be able to make park reservations. Others have said absolutely not, it has to be active. So your mileage may vary there, because I've heard both situations and I haven't heard a definitive from Disney in that scenario. The good news for 2021, at the very beginning of January 1, they are selling park hopper tickets again. So while they're not in 2020 and they took away park hopping, right now, as it stands, as of today, which may change, January 1st, you can park hop again. Now, do we know if that means they're going to take away the reservation system, or if they're going to allow us to book times within entry times into different parks? We don't know that. But seeing as though that they are anticipating being able to park hop, that's at least a step forward.
Okay. Michelle?
So Becky, you mentioned that if you have an AP, you can book 3 days. Is there any sort of, do you get charged any fee like you would if you booked a restaurant and didn't show up for your reservation? Is there any sort of,
right now,
you get any ding?
Nope. Right now, there's no charges, there's no fees. I think if they had like a 20 or 30% no-show of people showing up, they may change that, because they're trying to just control the capacity for the time being. However, you never know what they might come up with next. Who even thought, if I would have told you 6 months ago that, oh, by the way, come August, September, we could only go to one park and we'd have to make a reservation and you'd have to be on property to be able to do more than one. Things are definitely very fluid.
Yeah. I wonder what it's like for people who live down there, who AP holders who live down there, trying to, make a plan, because I think one of the things that appeals to me about living down there as an AP holder is just be like, hey, let's go to Epcot. I'm just in the mood. And that whole element of it is taken away.
Yeah, especially for the locals who are like, hey, let's just go to Epcot and go have a beverage, and then let's go have dinner at, in the Magic Kingdom or wherever you want to do that. The spontaneity is definitely taken away. I've talked to a few locals there, and they understand the situation, and they know that it's the best that they could do at this point. But I think there's going to be a little bit of frustration for those who have been so used to going where they want, when they want, and just leave their house.
Yeah.
Becky, I was wondering, when Disney announced last week, I think it was, the backing up of the starting date for the Food and Wine Festival, and how it's going to go now from July to November. Do you recall if any of your agents said, wow, that made a difference, and all of a sudden people who weren't thinking about booking for the remainder of 2020 are now thinking about it because of the Food and Wine Festival? Because frankly, I thought that festival was toast. I thought that was toast, and I also thought that Wine and Dine race weekend is toast. I still believe that, but I'm just wondering if you and your agent saw an increase in bookings because of that announcement.
Well, the announcement came after they had already cut off bookings. So we haven't had that opportunity to have that discussion, because there's no resorts that are available to book. You can't even add tickets. So if you said, woohoo, yay, I want to go and do wine, and I don't know who would want to do the Food and Wine Festival in the heat of, July 31st.
With a mask on, yeah.
With a mask on. It does not sound like the most wonderful experience, especially to me who, feels like I'm on the surface of the sun every time I'm in Florida in the summer.
That's right.
You just eat all the liquid nitrogen ice cream. That's all.
Yeah, exactly.
Get the wine on the mask and everything.
I wouldn't even leave that kiosk. I would live at that kiosk. We haven't had that opportunity just to sell it if anybody wanted to, because again, they closed so many of the resorts and they're moving people from all the other resorts to the open resorts. So I'm not sure if that's going to be a factor. If they do end up opening anything at this point, except for maybe people in the drive market or could easily get there. I think there's still just so many unknowns and so many things that would cause people to delay their trip.
Well, on that happy note.
Yeah, where's the happiness? Let's go back to the 50th. I can't wait to have a 50th celebration, since I was there for the Pink Castle, to see what those Imagineers are coming up with, because the one thing I adore more than anything is the creativity that those Imagineers can whip up together that will surprise and delight us, I think, and it'll be worth a trip in after October 1st.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's the thing, right? Like, we got to keep our eye on the prize and look forward to the good stuff coming up and try to.
I'm looking forward to whatever show they do in Epcot that Mike has to direct.
True. He's always out there conducting.
Exactly what I meant.
All right. Well, Becky, thank you so much for coming and talking to us. I hope you do
Thanks
come
for
back
having
more
me.
often and just talk about what's going on and sort of keep us apprised of things as they happen.
Thanks for having me, and I would come back anytime that you will allow me. Like I said, I'm just going to sit here and you just tell me when I can talk.
Well, in the meantime, if other people want to get in touch with you or your agents, where do they have to go?
We have all kinds of places for you to go.
Give them to us. Let's see.
Awesome. MEI-travel.com, which will then present you with 3 different locations. You can go to mousefantravel.com, universalfantravel.com, or MEI, which will then be anything from all cruises, if you want to go on one, to vacations across the land. But if you're focused on Disney, mousefantravel.com. And then you can reach me at Beci Mahnken, BECIMAHNKEN, on all the socials. And if you have any questions about travel planning, feel free to message me, PM me anytime on Facebook.
It won't cost anything.
I know. I've been helping a lot of people, even during this time, where even people who haven't booked with us, because this is a unique time and people are feeling the need to have a little help. So feel free to PM me.
And I not only am I a hair club member, but I'm also a client, or the president and a client. So, and we appreciate your services and your time. So I will say, on behalf of Beci Mahnken, spell it out, whatever. Michelle Scribner-McLean and Mike Scopa, will see you on the road.